What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Larry Mizell Jr. Back once again with Thursday Plantation, your weekly dose of freshness available through your iTunes, so subscribe and get that shit. You heard? Right now we're on 5th and Denny, right by the Space Needle, also known as Tillicum Square, where you can find the Chief Self statue, also known as Chief Seattle. Behind me, you got the 5 Point, one of my favorite drinking destinations. Damn good food to boot, so go and check that out. In this episode coming up, we're going to be talking to local favorites Common Market. I sat down recently with the two halves of the Common Market brain, the MC, Scion, and DJ Sabzi, also of the Blue Scholars. You'll be very interested in what they've got to say. First off, this episode is dedicated to the memory of Professor X from the Almighty X Clan. He passed away recently. We lost another soldier. This is the man you know from the intro to the X Clan songs, all their singles. Vainglorious, you know what I'm saying? Calling cats sissies and all that shit. That cat was real deal. He's one of the most recognizable voices in hip hop if you grew up during the early 90s. So he will definitely be missed. Now, a lot of y'all younger cats may not remember X Clan, but hopefully you'll get a chance to hear some new material from their lead MC, Brother J. So keep your eyes out for that. Peace to X Clan, the Dark Sun Riders, and the whole Black Watch movement. R.I.P. Looks like Bad Boy Records has been sued recently by the company that represents the almighty Ohio Players for unlawful use of their song. It was made in 1971 called, I believe, Singing in the Morning, which I think they said was used on Machine Gun Funk, Give Me the Loot, and some other joints off the classic Ready to Die, Notorious B.I.G.'s first album. This isn't the first time Bad Boy's been sued over samples. Y'all know that. Puffy is the sample master. Bad Boy's lawyers allege that the suit has no merit because the song was recorded before 1971, before there was federal protection for copyright. What's funny about this is your boy Chuck D from Public Enemy commented, the man who invented the lawnmower can't copyright the sound that it makes. Which is pretty funny considering that Chuck D sued Bad Boy a couple years ago for using his voice without license on the 10 Crack Commandments off Life After Death, Biggie's 5 Mic second album. And speaking of Public Enemy, PE, aka one of the greatest rap groups, if not the ever, dropped Rebirth of a Nation. Definitely past their prime, and having dropped a couple forgettable releases in the last couple of years. This one, to me, I really am not liking because it's mostly produced by Paris, the owner of Gorilla Funk, the label on which it's dropping. You might remember Paris as the Oakland MC, who also has ties to the Black Panther Party. But the fact is, the production on the Public Enemy doesn't really suit them. And also, surprisingly, Chuck D, who could easily be considered one of the best MCs of all time, 90% of his rhymes are written by Paris. So that's a little disheartening. If you guys remember last episode, I wondered aloud if journalists and rappers were gonna start having beef, you know, if that was the new hot shit. Well, we got another instance recently at Stanford University at a roundtable that was assembled by Davey D out of the Bay. The legendary Krs-One tore into the noted hip-hop journalist Adisa Banjoku, aka the Bishop of hip-hop, challenging him to a fight, or in his own words, telling him he wanted to beat his ass, and calling him a traitor to the movement, a federal agent, and things of that sort, because Adisa had called him out on a recent mixtape for being contradictory of all things. I mean, if you're going to say that about KRS-One, you might as well say, you know, sky's blue. Now, the reason I got a problem with that is because am I next? Is some rapper going to have a problem with me and cold cock me, hit me with the mic stand for something I said in my column or on my video podcast, which you're now watching? I sincerely hope not, because I can't do with the hospital bills. I got no insurance, and I'm not trying to fight any rappers' entourages. And last but not least, the incarcerated rapper Lil Kim is complaining that her boobs are leaking, basically. She's locked up in a Pennsylvania federal detention facility and is saying that possibly her breast implants, for which she's well renowned among other plastic surgeries, might need some servicing. I'm sure there's a lot of inmates around the country that would love to service her breasts, but I find this kind of funny for somebody who said in a few raps that she could do the time standing on her head. Now she's got to watch out for her tits leaking. Okay, so that's enough for the news. Let's go ahead and get to the interview and performance with Common Market. who I recently sat down with. Scion and Sabzi, the MC and the DJ, both bring their own disparate flavors to the table. They think differently on some of the same subjects, but you'll see from this that they're more than just the sum of their parts.
The most important thing for me as an MC, I think, is accountability. If I could say it in one word, it would definitely be accountability. And to make sure that, you know, if I'm going to put it down on tape, that I'm going to be able to stand behind it. You know what I mean?
Always where hatred is, appreciate your face, smile when it's proud and try to raise kids under the pretense. These friends are for show, and I don't mean for show, homie, I mean for show. But this label street credibility for status. For you to ask some force laughs and not bad with for you to want tactics from the past is yours for. Some of you MCs would make better actors. Trust is a must for me. If you want dollars, your friends like from the tyrants or the luxury. Learn to never take them for granted. Love overcomes the grudges, having been granted. I don't so.
For instance, like a song like Gadang Diggy, where I'm speaking specifically about, you know, how I feel that there was a lack of support, you know, for artists in the Seattle community. And just within the past several months, I've seen, you know, a lot of transformation, and I've seen a lot of people actually, you know, support hip hop now in a way that I didn't see in the past.
No, we were just talking about this, how California is the world's 5th largest economy, and that the MCs there, they can go gold just in their hometown. They don't care what the rest of the nation thinks about them. And I know that there's a generation of artists in Seattle that have they have goals, and it would be nice to be able to achieve that just in our area.
Right.
And we're not ashamed to be from Seattle too. We have a good time just talking about our neighborhood. It's
Right.
fun. It brings the music to a root.
I think I'm coming to an understanding as of late that it's not so much the hip hop artist or, you know, like the people who are driving the hip hop scene here in Seattle that are fragmented or divided or not willing to work with each other. It's the fact is that we have a very diverse group of people tuning into the hip hop scene now.
Come on, let's get that
I like this podcast. Why? Because I'm not rich, and it means that folks like us can share shows like this, and I can talk to folks like you. out there in internet land.
They made a show and wrote a book, thinking they got that. It goes, the interjection interrupts the status quo. Grab the staff, holding back the stratus off the plateau. Cold settling, elders talking long winters evident. Silly clothes, deal another dose of medicine. They say things could always be worse. The church is waterproof, impermeable to the blood the slaughter produce. We'll wait it out here and summon the saints to oversee us. Past the chaperone, lead us in a prayer for non-believers, saying, Lord, they strayed from the fold, gave them the night.